coach Carey Green, by senior center Bella Smuda, senior guard Asia Boone. We'll ask the attending media here in Huntsville if you'll ask your questions first, and we'll move to our Zoom audience. We ask that you state your name and affiliation prior to asking your question. Thanks for attending. Thanks for your patience. We'll now begin with an opening statement from Coach Green before opening it up to questions.
Well, first of all, our opponent, we really have admiration and respect because of how hard they play. They are never out of the game. They play and they have played the entire season that way, and that's a tribute to a coaching staff that really is doing the right things and in a first class manner. I think the game, we had worked very hard, as everybody does throughout the season, and had earned the #1 seed. I think that was obvious advantage to us because the first 2 quarters were very tight. We're battling there, and as fatigue set in, I think when that was to our advantage in the 3rd and 4th quarter, so the game sort of went with that. And of course, in the 3rd and 4th quarter, we finished strong, shooting high percentages. So the game was really comes down to that. They had to play the night before, and as the game went longer, and we were able to just involve our entire bench. It was to our advantage at the end, and had some open shots, and shot the ball very well in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
John Mann, Tennessee Red. Coach, Sam Houston's one of the better teams in the country in forcing turnovers. How much of an emphasis was that for your team today going into this one?
That's a great question. It was one of the top 3, 4, or 5 things that we were concerned about. Number 1 is to match their intensity, because they really play hard. Number 2, to rebound and play good defense, because they'll transition and attack the rim. And if we didn't do a good job there, they'd be at the free throw line. And they were there more often than what I wanted to be there. And during the first half, also, we were in a rebounding deficit. So it's an area that we wanted to address as well. We felt like if we could keep them in front of us and rebound, that'd give us a huge advantage. However, that other factor of taking care of the ball, if they turned us over, they'd probably get some easy shots off of that. And first half, we committed, I think, eight turnovers, and ended up with 13 turnovers. And not that we're pleased with 13 turnovers, we're not, but under the circumstance, I think that was a major contributing factor. We got open shots, or we got shots instead of turnovers, and where they could generate a lot of energy off of a turnover. And when you look at the numbers there, turnovers resulted in only 9 points. So never pleased with that stat line, but in this particular game, in this situation, knowing what they do, as you're saying, one of the top 10 teams in the country, and turning you over, and they've been that way the entire year. That was had a huge impact. Not the deciding one, but it could have flipped it the other way. Great question.
It was tied 18-18, and you guys kind of rolled from there and just were able to make some bigger shots. Can you just kind of talk about what was the difference, especially down the stretch?
We were kind of adamant for the second half to have more energy. We kind of had low energy, and I feel like what Coach Green said, like one of our biggest points in the game is to rebound, and he's always talking about the 95% of the game, and that's what Sam Houston is really good at. So we kind of had to match that energy and even do it better. And like one of our teammates had 8 rebounds, and that impacted the game immensely. So like doing that 95% can translate to a good offense, and that's exactly what happened.
Asia, you only attempted one shot in the first half, but ended up leading the team with 16. What do you think changed for you there after intermission?
It really isn't about me. Like, yes, I took only one shot in the first half, but my other teammates were also taking all the shots, and we were winning the game. In the second half, I just found my shots. Like, my teammates created the shot for me, and that's why I got 16 points. It wasn't just on me; it was also my teammates.
Riley Klingman from the Liberty Champion. Can you guys talk about how important it is to have a deep bench in a tournament like this? Because you're going to go and you're going to have a day off and play another game, but you guys are able to rest some of the starters. Like Emma Hess didn't play as much as normal. A couple of other starters. Can you talk about why having a deep bench is so important?
Okay, I'll do it. They both looked at me at the same time. I think it's super important. I think that's what makes our team so special this year is that it's not like we don't have like a star player. Like we have a lot of star players, and like I think it's really hard for teams to scout us because okay, yeah, you really focus on one shooter, but then another shooter's open, the post open, you want to double in the post, okay, we have shooters open. And so I think it gives us a lot of respect because it's not like you can really overly scout one person, and I think that's really like our superpower in a lot of ways.
Yeah, going off of what Bella said, I think it is super important to have a deep bench. If I'm not on, then I know my freshman Avery Mills is gonna come up and fill in my spot. So we have so many girls, talented girls on this team that it is what Bella said. It is hard to scout us, but like at the end of the day, we are going to score because all of us are talented. We can shoot, drive to the basket, get rebounds on this team.
Coach, when you, like you said, like when you have multiple players on the bench who can easily score in double figures for you, just talk about the challenge of kind of managing who has the hot hand in these kind of situations.
Yeah, I'm real proud of that. Okay, you're pushing my button now. Okay, these girls worked very hard on building the culture, and it was not a culture that's selfish. You have a starter like Elizabeth. Probably one of the best players from Iceland. She comes over here, she plays in this game, she don't even take a shot. She's valuable. She's a starter. There's a couple games that she's not even taking a shot. She's, so Bella says it's a superpower. It is a superpower that they're not selfish. That's hard because every one of them was leading scorer either on their high school team or AAU team, All-State, or you take Jordan Hodges for an example. She's like two-time or three-time state most valuable player, and she's out there playing unselfish. As a coach, I'm very proud of their culture that we began. It just wasn't when season began. It started last year. It's really been going for about 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
The culture has been so good. And this group is, we don't just put the ingredients in when August comes in. They're doing team things during the summer school. We have team retreats, but you know what? It's not about that retreat. That retreat was not the magic. The magic or ingredients was coming in, and just seeing. I guess as a coach, I want to see them be successful, and it begins with their lives changing and seeing lives change in front of me and having them understand there's value in changing because that's what nature does. The flower blooms, it comes up, it blooms, it dies away. They come up, they learn something, and they move on. And after you see their lives change and then their character start to grow and as a team, as family, as a culture, and then their focus is not on how many points I could get or did I get MVP. I got 2 all-conference players right here. It's not about that. Their values are locked in and focused on eternal values. We get just to play this game. If we can get a ring, that's okay. But they're building something much bigger, and the ring would just be a memory of something that they're learning. And the eternal value things is what they're going to take in as a mother or a grandmother. Years goes on in their family. So that part is really exciting. Their culture that they built. I'm sorry, you pushed my button.
Anyone
more questions in the room?
Let me correct that statement. I'm not sorry. You pushed that button.
Anyone from Zoom audience? No one there, Coach?